Labor is warning age pensioners that a re-elected Morrison government will put them on a cashless debit card.
Anne Ruston would love nothing more than to expand this cashless debit card to pensioners and to anyone else in receipt of a form of a pension payment.
Pensioners of this country are petrified that this cashless debit card will be extended to them.
First, what is a cashless debit card? And second, is this even true? A cashless debit card is a restricted form of receiving welfare support payments. So instead of Centrelink sending payments to a bank account, they send only 20% to a bank account and 80% of the payment to a cashless debit card. The difference, and it's important to know this, is the government restricts what you can buy with a cashless debit card. So you can't use it to buy alcohol or gambling products, some gift cards, or to withdraw cash. The government's explanation for doing this is to support people, families and communities in places where high levels of welfare dependence coexist with high levels of social harm. So their thinking is that if you restrict people from buying alcohol or gambling with Centrelink money, it will benefit them and their immediate community. But in reality, this hasn't always been the case, and the card has really had its fair share of problems. Researchers from 4 universities have said it causes more harm than good and actually had little impact on reducing social harm. Card holders have reported being stigmatized and the card just not working for important transactions like paying rent. Critics have also accused the scheme of racial bias because the government has been trialling the card in 4 areas with high Indigenous populations. First Nations people make up 42% of participants in the trial, despite only making up 3% of the population. So given the controversy around it, you can see why Labor might see value in making this an election issue. The opposition has pledged to scrap the cashless debit card if it wins government. But where they're stretching it just a tad is with claims the coalition wants to expand the card to all age pensioners. Labor MPs are going hard with this claim in Facebook ads. 2 MPs even held a Protecting Pensioners forum, and Labor has a website and petition dedicated to the issue. They're basing their claim on these comments by Social Services Minister Anne Ruston in February 2020.
We're seeking, as I said, to put all income management onto the universal platform, which is the cashless debit card.
Now the words universal platform might indicate that Ruston intended to expand it, but actually she was just referring to moving existing welfare recipients who already use a government card to receive payments onto the cashless debit card. To be fair to Labor, at the time she did leave the door open to expanding the card with this comment.
The conversation needs to be had about what are the advantages of this card, and it's up to us as a government to go and sell those advantages in the hope that the Australian community will see the value of it.
And the government has in the past tried to make this card permanent. In its 2020 budget, the government pushed to make it compulsory in the 4 trial zones, and only abandoned this after pushback from Labor, the Greens, crossbenchers and even within the Liberal Party.
The cashless debit card program is a punitive measure enacted on the presumption that all welfare recipients within the trial areas are incapable of managing their finances.
When the government finally passed the bill in December 2020 to extend the trial for 2 years, it included a symbolic amendment saying that no recipient of the age pension will be placed on the cashless debit card, with the exception of those who volunteer or are referred. So as it currently stands, age pensioners can get a cashless debit card, but only if they volunteer to do so. The referred part of that amendment deals with a 5th area where the card is currently in use, the remote communities in Cape York. There it can be, and in some cases already is, compulsory if individuals have been referred onto the card by child protection, social workers, or an Indigenous-led body called the Family Responsibilities Commission. But in regards to age pensioners, Ruston rules out adding them onto the cashless debit card as recently as October 2021. And Scott Morrison had this to say on the campaign trail.
The Labor Party should stop frightening pensioners. It is an out-and-out disgusting lie.
So at this very moment in time, it is not a government policy or promise to expand the cashless debit card to all age pensioners. Now, the underlying message of Labor's campaign is that you might not be able to trust the Morrison government when it says it's ruled something out. And if it ran its ads saying that, we probably wouldn't be doing this video. But to claim the government intends to put age pensioners on a cashless debit card is stretching it just a bit. So is this Labor ad accurate? The short answer, no, at least for now. If you like the fact check, please hit the subscribe button and download our app. And if you want to read more on the cashless debit card, I popped a link in the description to the article by our political reporter, Paul Karp.